When people think coffee, Starbucks is often the first name that comes to mind. It undoubtedly has been a well-known successful business, until recently. The company has been in trouble lately, but has made efforts to stay on top. The first Starbucks was opened in Seattle, Washington in 1971. Howard Schultz joined the company in 1982 and bought Starbucks 5 years later. By 1992, when the company joined the stock exchange, there were over 150 outlets in the U.S. In the late 90s, Starbucks began purchasing companies like the Seattle Coffee Company in the UK and expanded their operations outside of the U.S. By this time, the total number of Starbucks in the world was over 6,000. Now, Starbucks is comprised of retail stores in approximately 37 countries worldwide and employs about 115,000 people. However, the company suffered its first quarterly loss in its 15-year history in August of this year, reporting a net loss of $6.7 million compared to a net income of $158.3 million for the same period in 2007. The stock has died from a high of $40 a share in 2006 to just $14 now. Starbucks has been forced to close 600 stores in the U.S., 61 of the 85 outlets in Australia, and 10 of the 78 in the UK. Most of these units will close during 2008 and the first half of 2009. The company indicated that unprofitable locations were targeted, but anticipated economic trends were also considered. Analysts estimate that the closings will eliminate 12,000 positions, roughly 7% of Starbucks' global workforce. Many employees are expected to be redeployed to other store locations. Overall, it will cost Starbucks an estimated $330 million to close the stores, about 45 cents per share. Once a top competitor, Starbucks is now experiencing severe problems. There have been many proposed causes for the fall. One reason Starbucks has plummeted is that the chain has simply become too hyper with overexpansion. In Manhattan, for example, there are 185 stores, 8 per square mile, writes Matthew Lin for Market Leader. To solve this problem, Starbucks has closed several stores throughout the world. Along with these closings, Starbucks will open fewer than 200 stores in 2009, 50 less than originally projected. Another reason Starbucks profits are in retreat is the competition from McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts, which both now sell respectable coffee at lower prices. To deal with these problems, Starbucks has tried to distinguish itself from competitors by revamping its menu. It has introduced fruit smoothies and energy-infused drinks in the U.S. recently and plans to expand them throughout the world. Schultz claims, as long as we can differentiate ourselves from all others, we will continue to be the leader. Starbucks is not only trying to set itself apart from competitors with its variety, but is mimicking the things that other stores do to increase sales. Starbucks has been steadily increasing the number of drive-thrus at its stores and introduced a number of kitchens where fresh food is prepared on site. This will help the stores become more efficient and faster. An additional cause of Starbucks' downfall has been contributed to health concerns. A large Starbucks iced hazelnut mocha with whipped cream contains 599 calories. Customers are becoming conscious about their intake and health and are cutting back on the amount of Starbucks they consume. A new project created to address this problem is the Fruit and Yogurt Parfait. It was launched in the New York market in August of 2007. A spokesman said, "We continually adapt and extend our product line in response to customer demand. For example, by offering non-fat, organic, or soy milk per customer request, and making fat-free or reduced fat baked items available in our stores." Finally, Starbucks' hard times have been due to the fact that the quick grab-and-go commerciality of the company has replaced the original coffeehouse's charm and romance. Schultz stated, "Stores no longer have the soul of the past and reflect a chain of stores versus the warm feeling of a neighborhood store." In response to this issue, Starbucks closed its entire American chain for part of the day this year to retrain staff in the craft of coffee making. This was meant to make the stores more personable and conversational, getting back to the basics of good coffee. Starbucks has also introduced music bars at the stores to add to the unique feel of the personal coffee house atmosphere. These bars let customers compile songs in CDs or in MP3 folders from a song library. My suggestion to Starbucks to solve its current dive in the stock market is to follow up with these adjustments and bring the store back to the basics. A couple of years ago, walking into Starbucks meant enjoying free Wi-Fi, comfy seats, cheerful welcomes, and great tunes. Now it's all about the business and making money. If Starbucks could detach itself from concern with the corporate world and focus more on what people want in a coffee shop, I think it'd be more successful. If Starbucks were to focus on cleanliness, friendliness, comfort, and great coffee, it'd start to get back to the original coffee house. This would solve the problem of over-corporateness and make the client feel special and valued by the company. The coffee is what the customer is coming to Starbucks for, so make it the best it can be. The barista should be trained in coffee making and knowledgeable on the subject, as well as devoted to making the customer comfortable and happy. With these tips and the recent efforts Starbucks has been making to fix its problems, there is hope for the company for the future.